Welcome to World Cinema Reviews. This is your host, Frank the Vamp. And today we got a special review of a movie I recently saw called Late Faces. And Late Faces is an awesome, new feature directed by Adrian Garcia Bogliano and starring Nick D'Amici. The plot involves Nick D'Amici playing this Vietnam War veteran called Ambrose, and Ambrose, he's retired, he's elderly now, and his son is kind of dropping him off at this retirement community. He's a widower, so all he's got is his seeing eye dog. Ambrose unfortunately has been blinded due to the effects of the war, apparently. So his son, it's married and wants to have a life of his own, and he's just dropping him off at this retirement community. Kind of like gated community close to the woods. However, Ambrose is like this no nonsense, hardcore military dude, and he still keeps weapons even though he's blind, and he still, has that tough military attitude. And but he wants to be friendly with his new neighbor, and he meets this sweet elderly lady, and they kind of hit it off, and it's kind of nice, and it looks everything hunky dory, right? But unfortunately, on the very first night he stays, and I'm not spoiling anything because this is in the trailer pretty much. He unfortunately hears this animal attack, and like I said, no spoilers because you see it in the trailer. You see this, that there's a werewolf loose and attacks the lady from next door and rips her to shreds, and he wants to get involved on it, but he can't see and he gets knocked out, and unfortunately his dog gets the worst end of it. And basically the movie, of course the police gets there, starts saying, oh, unfortunately, because you guys are so close to the woods, it's probably an animal attack, could have been a bear, could have been, and it's an unfortunate incident, and they kind of try to sweep it under the rug. But he knows what he heard, and by the and he can tell that this is some kind of not an animal, that this is actual a monster. And basically the movie takes place that he's plotting how to actually kill the werewolves. And I mean, this movie kicks ass, guys. I mean, this is such a throwback to the 80s. Reminds me of Silver Bullet. Remember Silver Bullet? Who was about a handicapped kid, kind of, and no one believed him, and he was kind of defending himself. Kind of like that, he's a handicapped elderly gentleman that's, tough as nails and doesn't take, any BS from nobody, and he wants to kill these werewolves that kill his friend and kill his dog. So what works for this movie? Number one, the acting. Ambrose is hardcore, hard ass. Is just this very tough, war veteran that no nonsense, and he carries the gun, and he wants this monster dead, right? And he totally biases. He is, and the good thing is that we don't get just the monster against him. We also get him a little bit of who he was, how he has alienated his wife and his children. His wife before he died, and his children, and he tells us so. The movie has heart, and the movie definitely makes us feel for a man that he at some point he says that, hey, you know what, the only thing I was ever being good at is shooting people, like being a soldier. That's all I could do. He can't, he's not a social person. He rubs off the majority of people. He starts to go to church, nearby, and makes quite a lot of people uncomfortable because he has very little social graces, and he's kind of a hard ass all the time, you know. So he knows. So, and he explores kind of a nice relationship to you know, this priest, and it's kind of cool. Like, you know, in werewolf movies, you know, you don't never know who the werewolf is, and it's kind of cool to, you know, watch the movie and tell me if you can guess that. I didn't. I thought it was somebody else. But you know, you know, shows how much, you know, shows you how much I know. But I didn't get it. I couldn't catch it. But it's not that hard. But yeah, you kind of would tell who it was. But it's a little clever, I guess. But that's not the best part, you know. Besides the great acting of Mr. Amici there, it's basically, you know, the special effects are actually practical, you know. You know, Nick D'Amici, he actually, you know, when he fights this werewolf, you know, you when you see the transformation, and man, is very much reminds me of movies like The Howling, and and the American Werewolf in London. You know, not as good, but almost. I mean, so many years have gone by. This is as close as it gets, and it's pretty damn good. It's pretty believable. I love the werewolf design. Some people didn't. You know, I read some comments, but I mean, screw it. If it's not CG, I'll take it over any CG werewolf. Okay, you know, not that I'm hating on the Underworld series and anything like that. I still think they're all right, but you know, I kind of miss the practical effects, and they're back here. So, and the best thing, man, we don't get no stupid romantic werewolf like in what is it, uh, Twilight things, you know, or wolves. I know they're not werewolf per se, but they're wolves or whatever. They shift into wolves, but you know, there's no romanticism when they turn. You know, they're, you know, savage beasts that you know, that are gory and destroy. You know, truly, truly. This is a werewolf movie that you shouldn't miss. I mean, a throwback to the '80s, has all the elements. You know, the effects, the gore. You know, the deadpan humor, and the Michi's acting that is pretty damn good. I take it. You know, this is an A- film, solid A-, B+ on a bad day, but I really liked it. I give him an A-. So there you go. So yeah, Late Faces. Watch it, watch it. Comment if you like the movie. If you didn't like it, let me know. Also, you know, if you want to subscribe, that will really help. So take it easy, be blessed, and see you next video.